I am your host, Leah Demla, and you are listening to the Oracle on Purpose podcast, where we help intentional leaders clarify their purpose and next steps to create a work and life of significance. Today, I am honored to share an international broadcasting superstar and award-winning podcaster who puts the spotlight on visibility and radiates authority and an exuberance for life wherever she goes. My guest today is the creator of Dare to Dream Knockout Visibility Programs, Debbi Dachinger. Debbi is a media personality, a media visibility expert who's been interviewed over 1,000 media outlets. She's a syndicated award-winning podcast host, nominated for 2 People's Choice Awards, interviews celebrities on the red carpet, a keynote speaker, a certified coach, and the author of 3 international best-selling books. As a media visibility authority, Debbi coaches people on how to write a page-turner book. She runs a company that guarantees your book becomes an international bestseller and teaches the ultimate visibility formula: how to be interviewed on radio and podcast shows in 60 days or less. Now in its 12th year, Debbi hosts the syndicated Dare to Dream podcast, plus works with clients on their visibility strategy so they can use free PR to become known as the go-to expert. Schedule a session with her at the end of this show, and she can help you to stop being the best-kept secret and instead be seen as a powerhouse leader. She's a popular media guest and speaker. Debbi is a keynote at high-level national events, a radio and TV personality, and has been seen in the news, documentary films, on the cover of magazines, and is a regular featured contributor to published magazines. Awards and accolades for my lovely friend here. She is Editor's Pick, Featured Intriguing Creator, Broadcasting Industry Lifetime Achievement Award, inducted into, get this, the Who's Who Hall of Fame for Entertainment, winner of successful achievements from Voices of Women Worldwide, and recipient of Heart and Spirit Award from the Evolutionary Business Council. And I'll tell you what, that last thing is one of the reasons that I am truly admired and love, and I just am so thrilled to have her here today, because that's who I see when I see Debbi, which is heart and spirit, and it radiates every time we talk, and she gets me so excited to talk to her about what she's up to. Welcome to the show, Debbi. Thank you so much for being here.
It is always awesome to hang out with you, Leah. Thank you for having me.
I can't think of a better way to spend my day than chatting with Miss Debbi Dachinger. You know, and as many of my clients know as they watch this, and my listeners, you know, I am focused on being an intuitive business architect. I help people to figure out what's your purpose and how do you align it with your genius, and how do you make what you're creating something that's impactful on the world. You know, that's my first question to you in looking at the work that you do. You know, how do you find alignment with your purpose and your personal business genius of visibility in your work?
Well, it's ever changing, and because I know I have a new piece that was made clear to me last year, and that I am in direct invitation to, and I can talk about that in a minute. So it is evolving, just like we are as humans. I basically, I chose to create big and went into radio. Radio, I decided I wanted to reach more people. So I started to write books. My books became bestsellers. People came to me and said, I want to interview you. You're an expert in success and creating dreams in media. And I quickly started to have people come to me and say, I really would like what you have. I don't know how it is that you've written these books and gone to international bestseller. I don't know how it is that you have been interviewed on all these platforms, but I see that you're going viral, like they knew me when, and I would like some of that, please. And so I literally started teaching, right? And it started at a group level. Back in the day, all we had was a conference line, and that's how I taught people. Yeah. And then people would say, well, I would like some private sessions. And it just grew into an industry, honestly. And I think what happened was I was filling a need, and it also filled a need in me. So the need I filled was about media, visibility, exposure. How do you do that? How do I get there? And I also created a company because there's plenty of people who say, I don't want to do that. That's not my wheelhouse. I don't want my team to do that if I even have a team, but can I pay you to do that? So a company was born there as well. So it was about need, and then I found it filled a need in me to teach, to inspire, to be in front of people, to be able to serve something up that I felt really generated a great outcome on the outside. And still to this day, I see people grow wings when they're in my classes or they work with me, and I see them get so successful. And it makes me really, really happy to have somehow been connected with that.
Yeah. And it's interesting you mentioned that piece too. I think that's really important, is that you're allowing it to kind of evolve from what's inside of you as well. And that, I think, is beautiful. It's a good point to make. And I often say this to my clients when we talk about purposes. When you are on your purpose, when you are fulfilling your purpose, it's self-fulfilling. It really does fuel you. It's reciprocal, right? You get to give what you're best at, and in return you receive that energy of knowing, as you said, that you are making that difference and you're really helping people by the work that you do. And I know specifically right now you're really focused on the book angle of how to actually get that visibility. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you have going on in the realm of publishing and book development?
It's really exciting. I have made a new offering, and the offering is twofold, but the basis of it again is need, because you and I are speaking right now. I can tell you right now, I'm in the middle of lockdown in Los Angeles. I'm still in quarantine, even though the unrest for everybody is pretty big at this point, but it still exists, right? We still must be safe. And in the midst of this, here's what I know. More people are reading books than ever before, because what else are you going to do? People are buying and consuming books and audibles and ebooks. So why not be a writer right now? There are people out there who are actually saying, I'm getting bored, and they want to harness their creativity. And what I say in response to that is, step into your greatness. Make this time count for something. If you're quarantined, wouldn't you like to have a vision in 6 months of looking back on your life and saying, look what I created. Look what I made of that time. Today, I'm an author. Today, I'm being interviewed. Today, because I took that time, it's actually very sacred time right now.
Yes,
and for all of us, I can tell you spiritually, it is about look inside. I promise you, if you had the power as a creator to shut down the entire planet, and lock yourself inside, what is it you need to face? Because that's pretty extreme, I gotta say. And it's also pretty loving. It's really loving to say, I'm gonna stop everything because I haven't been dealing with these things. So I decided literally in response. So let me tell you that I created a free webinar for people to say, if you wanna write a book, join this webinar. I'm gonna show you how, right? And I wasn't getting any kind of dings about, is anybody signing up? I thought, it looks like there's one person in this thing. Should I cancel the webinar? I don't know. And I went in the back end the night before, and all of a sudden I saw I had put it up a day and a half, and there was 61 people signed up. This is telling me something.
Right.
So what I have done, to be very succinct and answer your question, is I've created 2 platforms. First platform is called Visible Visionaries. It's DebbiDachinger.com/Visible Visionaries. For people who want to be visible, for people who want to write a book, if you want to be live guided by an expert and do some healing in between, because we're going to break down all those obstacles so you can write a page-turner book. This is a private membership only platform. It's at a price point everybody can afford. So go to DebbiDachinger.com/Visible Visionaries. The other piece is that I was very inspired to do an anthology, because some people just want to write a chapter. Right. So if you want to write a chapter, I'm doing it on dogs, because who doesn't love dogs? Pet industry, dog lovers. And so it's called The Ultimate, with the word mutt. The
Fantastic.
ultimate book for dog lovers. Yeah. So people are coming on board there, and it's DebbiD.net. You got to spell my name right. It's DEBBI, no E, DEBBID.net/anthology. These two platforms are ways for people to start to express out in the world and show up and start writing and do something in a way that they're really held from the beginning, like the inspiration of the idea to the completion, right? And if they want to self-publish, I'll show you how. It's all easy.
I love it. And, I think that the interesting thing that you've said there too, is it's so much, like you said, everybody has a story. Everybody has a story that someone else would sit and hear or be inspired by or, engaged with. And I love that it's accessible at both levels, right? If you have a book, if you have a novel in you, or if you just have that great story, in this case about dogs, that you have a place to share. There's a place for you in the book world. And I think that's really exciting for people to know. Also, maybe those who are, like you said, a little bit more nervous about putting together a whole book, just that one good, juicy story could be all it takes. So you said something interesting, which I want to tap into, which is, there's this idea when we talk about publishing, and you said, if you're self-publishing, there's a lot of, as someone who has published myself, I've published other books myself, I know there's a lot that goes into that mechanically. So how, when they come to you, Debbi, how ready do they have to be to really get things started, do you think?
Oh, you have to have desire for sure. It's like anybody who gets coached, like you could pay a coach, you can align with the coach, but if you're going to resist a coach, but if you're like really hungry, like, okay, put me in a game, show me how to do this, then, that's all you need. That's the entire readiness. I definitely have had authors come to me for both these projects who have written a lot out into the world, their own books, anthology chapters, all sorts of stuff, but they're still hungry to write more. Like they have a writer in them and creator and all of that. And then there are some people who have come to me and said, I've never done this before. It's like, awesome, I got you. Like I literally have your back. And if the universe sent you here to me, the universe has your back, because this is what I do out in the world. So I really like to handhold. And it was cool what you said, Leah, because it is about, for those who have just like, I got the taste, but I'm not really sure or certain. When you write a chapter, and I show you how to write a page turner, and you start to have the experience, you start to approve things that I'm doing for you, like the cover and the editing and the transcription and all that stuff, then you will stand on your feet and say, you know what? I can do this. That was a chapter. What if I did 10 chapters? That's a book.
There you go. And then you have a book. I love it. I think this is so wonderful right now, as you said. It's and even, whenever you're hearing this recording or listening to this podcast, know that the time to write your book is now. It doesn't have to have, and I love that you just put it that way. Like you can take it in these bite-sized pieces. We don't have to lock ourselves away. What is that old adage of like, I'm going to take a sabbatical and go write my world's greatest novel for 6 months. You can do it where you are, it sounds like. Is that true?
Yeah. Because if you have a message, if you have a story, you're ready to rock and roll. Books take a lot of forms. Some of them are just straight on novels. They're just some kind of imagination, and they're a character speaking to you, and they're saying, I need to be birthed. And you're the one. Tap, tap. Some of them are, I have a wisdom. I've been through an experience in my life. And by virtue of having come through the fire, if you will, there's something I know now that I really want to share, and I believe will help. And then there are people who really are ready to hear that wisdom. There are also books that are more like modules that are saying, here's a subject, and I'm going to break it down for you. And that's more of a business book. And you can understand, because we read all of these, they're all really viable. And so a business book will be more about, Here you are. Here's what you want to create business-wise, and I'm going to break it down for you and lead you along. And then there's the kind of book where the author basically gets, I don't know if I want to use the word obsessed, but they become incredibly focused on a subject. It could be historical. It could be something that has happened. I'll give you an example. This is a client I had many years ago who wanted to write a genealogy book. And she literally, this became her entire life for a year, was exploring her own genealogy. And by virtue of finding out these unbelievable facts about her life, her lineage, her ancestry, she also found out literally how to do genealogy. And so she was able to write a book for people. So they followed her beautiful story and pictures, but they also learned how to do it on their own and all these great resources. So that one takes a lot of work, but it's a passion project. So there are many different ways to disseminate. And of course, there's everything in between, like children's book and graphic novels and photo table books. It's like, what are you inspired to? What's calling to you?
That's a great point. And I think that this is one of the things I love to share with my clients as well is, what is your vision? What is that ultimate something down the way that we're shooting for when we look at your purpose? How do you want to end up there? What does that look like? So I'm curious, what is your Debbi Dachinger's big vision for the work that you do and what you're doing in the world?
Debbi Dachinger is standing in a priestess outfit for sure. And she's leading a retreat, both intimate and large. Some of them on sites on very powerful locations, and some of them in maybe an intimate Airbnb with people who are ready for the big kahuna, who are ready to step into visibility in a way they would love to, but are probably pretty afraid to, or feel very blocked. And so it is my calling for the inside-outside job, for the inside healing, for whatever patterns are holding us back, for whatever zones we're living in or small jar we've put our own selves into, because I can speak for myself. This period in time right now, if there was ever a time to say, I don't want to die with a song in my heart. I don't want to die with a regret. These things I haven't been doing, like I've slowed down so much, I cannot not look at them and know them to be mine to do. So that piece at the very beginning, Leah, when I said we're ever evolving, we're ever changing, and I have a new piece that's come up since last year, I was called very much last year. I was told by the divine very clearly for 4 nights in a row, they were not letting up, saying, you are a priestess, you are a shaman, you are a healer. And I'm like, meh. I mean, these are my friends. I have really gifted friends, who I could talk to anytime and they'll tell me anything in the world because they can see the matrix of everything. And I'm like, like I know I'm clairsentient, but like, what? They wouldn't stop. And so I came out of that experience and said, I don't know the how, and I really don't fully know the why, although I can feel the juiciness of what would that be like to work with people. I mean, this is a whole nother level of something I don't know that anyone else is doing out in the world. And it would be such an honor if God, the goddess, chose me to illuminate people as to their brilliance. Because if we all came here to be a light worker, this it is our time, that we don't go down like Lemuria. I mean, I'm going there right now, and I hope it's okay. But
no, I think it's fantastic, and you're safe to say that here. I mean, that's the beauty of it, right? Like, I totally agree, and I love that you're sharing this part of yourself. So it sounds, even since the last time we've spoken, I can see it's even evolving more in you, and it's coming more to the forward part of your experience.
When the lockdown started, I was literally I had thrown down my credit card. I'd thrown down some money. I know some people who do amazing work. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go away and do that workshop. I'm going to go away and do that. I'm just going to do buffet here and let the Lord speak through me. It sounds very religious, sorry. But, let the divine speak through me and lead me, because I don't know where this is going. But I'm open, activate me. And then the lockdown happened. And so some of them offered like online classes, not the same for me, but I did them. And what I'm sitting in right now, and what I'm very much in prayer about right now, and it's very moving for me to share, is that I feel that the healer already has always been here. It's like Dorothy, where at the very end where Glinda says, "But Dorothy, it's always been inside of you all along." And I feel like it's so, many lives, and it's just been dormant. And that this time also has me like come boom, face to face with, it's in you, sweetness. Like you could take all those classes, but it's already here.
Right. You don't have to learn it. You have to be it. That's what I get, the message I get for you. I think that's, it's also beautiful that, as we've also talked about, and I've talked about so many people who are intuitive or guided, that this time is so potent with the manifestation that you really, like you said, we don't have to go anywhere. We just have to step into it and be it fully now, because that's how high the vibration is running. It's like, just connect. It's like that last lock in a tumbler in the when you're trying to spin a combination lock. It's that last little one that's just tumbling all of this together so that we can be purely potent and alive and be in our own skin in the most incredible way with all of the beautiful facets that we are. Do you see how, as I'm listening to you, I'm recognizing and I'm seeing all these great visions for you of you having these spaces. Do you see how now, as you start to look into that and step into that more, how you've always done that to some degree? Like always held that space, as a shaman for people in the book writing side of things?
Oh, yeah. In the book writing, I also teach this class. I do it live like twice a year called the Ultimate Visibility Formula, where I take people who want to be interviewed on podcasts and get big time results. And I've had people who are already out there, right? A lot of people who are already doing their thing come to me. And even as base as what is your message? And I've done privates with them, because I always do a private with people in my groups. And they've walked away and said, "Oh, now I get it. Now I get it." And finally, now they're able to articulate themselves, especially when you're spiritual. Very difficult, right? To put your finger on those words, to say really who I am and what I do and make it compelling and have people lean in and want to work with you. And now these people have the words and they're like, wow, in a sentence, I can do it and say it. And it is so. And then they have the idea, the coaching of how to be who they are, whether it's on a spiritual program or it's on a mainstream show, and get crazy ass results, like really great results, fill workshops, get their tribe following them, sell books, all of that stuff. This to me, yes, because I honestly know, because people feed it back to me. Right. I'm just being me, right? And I see things, I suppose, I've heard that other people don't see. And I'm able to, I love people. I really, really, 97% of the time, really love people. The other people I have to pray for. But the 97% of the time, and that's always my clients, they're beautiful. I see how amazing they are, and I see they don't see. And it is such a gift to be able to say to somebody, I have something to show you. And I want you to feel the truth of this in you. And when people know that they're seeing what that means to them, that their gift without even speaking is clear, So yes, I have always seen this. I think the piece that's new for me, that I always dreamed of bringing in a healer into my workshops to facilitate some really big, right. And that may still so. I have so many amazing friends and colleagues I may still, but that may change in the future.
Maybe you called in exactly what you needed to call in within yourself. I love it. And speaking of gifts, I mean, clearly we could talk for hours because like I told everybody, I love to talk to Debbi always. But I want to make sure before we finish up that we do share your juiciness with our audience. So can you tell us a little bit about what you would like to offer our listeners who are obviously right now scribbling down all the great details and juicy information you've given them so far?
Cool. If they're scribbling, they're writing.
Let's hope so. Yes.
Yeah, please. I have free gifts. And on some level, these are all free gifts because everything I'm going to offer to you, I think. Okay, I'll go one at a time. The first is my free gift, truly, to Leah's audience, is for you to find out, too, what your message is. And so this is a template, a report. It's going to literally take you through, and all you do is fill in. So go get yours. It's at debbidachinger.com/message, DEBBI. D as in David, ACHINGER.com/message. Find out what it is that you do and how to say it out into the world so you generate business, interest, and clients. And you have a lot of ease, right? And the other piece is if you would like to join us, and you really need to act fast, honestly, because I believe it's 70% full, which tells me people are now, it's all of a sudden, people are coming out of the woodwork. We know they're like ready to create out in the world. So you want to opt in for your chapter for the dog anthology, the ultimate book for dog lovers. And that's at debbid.net/anthology. It's DEBBID.net/anthology. And that's got a nice video in it too, by the way, that it's really fun. So it's also a gift if you just go there and watch the video. And the third piece is if you're ready to be like truly held, and all you do is pay a monthly price or come in at a super saver 1 year membership. It's all a membership platform, very private. You will be coached mano a mano, womano. And that's at debbidachinger.com/visible visionaries. And if you spell my name right, you'll get in DEBBIDACHINGER.com/visible visionaries. And that is the book writing membership. And also that we really shift some stuff around visibility.
I love it. And to add to this, definitely for those of you who don't have paper and pen, don't worry, we will get all of the links included below so you can go and find all of these different amazing offers from Miss Debbi. And I would also like to add that if you are one of those people who feels like this is all too good to be true, then dive in because you deserve too good to be true. We need to start taking all of these wonderful opportunities that are coming our way right now, as Debbi's saying, to be in our passion, to write our books, to share our wisdom, to be a part of this great time that we're in, and look back, as she reminded you, and say, look what I did. Look what I got done. Look what I accomplished in this time. And I think that is itself a gift, to recognize that we can take this time on and really give something of ourselves that is uniquely ours. So thank you, Debbi, for being here. I'm going to give you the last word to share with our audience. If they could know one thing from you to help them stay aligned and move forward in delivering who they are, what would you tell them?
Today's always going to be better than yesterday. Really, if you can bank on one thing, today's words are going to flow better than yesterday's words. Today's yoga practice is going to be a little bit deeper than yesterday's. Today's relationship, if you choose from love, is going to be better. Today's life, if you choose from gratitude, is going to be a whole better experience because you're looking at everything through appreciation. So just choose wisely. At every juncture in your life, you're at a crossroads. And are you going to go dark or light? Are you going to go love or you fill in the blank? And it's pretty easy, right? Because we all know what love generates and we know what gratitude generates. So choose that.
Oh, yes, I love it. Choose gratitude. At the end of it all, that's where we are. Choose love and gratitude. I have nothing but love and gratitude for you, Debbi, for being here. Thank you so much. I'm Leah Dunlap, the Oracle on Purpose, and this is the Oracle on Purpose podcast. Thanks for watching, and be sure to follow up on all these great links below. Thanks for tuning in to the Oracle on Purpose show. If you found value in this episode, we'd appreciate you leaving a comment. Also, you can subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't yet. If you'd like to get clear on your highest vision and next steps, go to oracleonpurpose.com.